Welcome to Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samajas, KRT Arts, BH Commerce and AM Science, KTHM College, Nasik. Myself, Sampad Demse, working as Associate Professor in Department of Electronic Science. Dear students, today's video lecture topics: input, output ports, clock and reset circuitry. The Pune University syllabus microcontroller learnings EL332 consists of 4 units, and we started with unit 1 microcontroller architecture, and we finish the topics introduction to microcontroller, 8051 core microcontroller block diagram, program and data registers, A and B register, flag register, internal RAM, ROM stack, pointer and stack organization, special function register, pin diagram, external memory, timer and counter, serial input output and interrupts in 8 video lectures. Today's video lecture is the 9th one, input, output and clocks, that we are going to discuss in this video lecture. Input output port in pin diagram of 8051. So where the input output ports lies. The input output port needs 32 pins. There are 4 different input output ports. Port number P10 to P17. So this is port 1, consists of pins pin 1 to pin 8. So this is the port 1, which is 8-bit port, work as input output port. Pin number 10 to 17, that is reserved for port 3, P03 to P07. It is a multi-function port. So this port 3 is 8-bit port, can be work as input output port or multi-function port. So these are the multi-functions. The first 2 pins transmit and receive data serially, is for serial communication, INT0 and INT1 for external interrupt, and T0 and T1 are for timer interrupt. For external access, a read and write controls are used, signals are used. So this write and this is a read signal. So all these are the multifunction function of port 3, pin 10 to 17. So these are the next pins. Pin number 21 to 28. So this is reserved for port 2, and this port 2 P2 to P20 to P27. So these are the port 2 pins. This is a multifunction pins, can be work as high byte address bus A8 to A15. So this is A8 to A15 bus pins, and that port 2 can be work as input output port or higher order byte address bus A8 to A15. The pin 32 to 39, these pins, 8 pins, work as port 0, that is P00 to P07. These pins also a multifunction pins, that is AD0 to AD7. So these are the 8 pins, that is AD0 to AD7, can be work as address or data. So this function of these pins are port 2 8-bit input output port and 8-bit data bus D0 to D7. So this 8 pins AD0 to AD7 can be worked as D0 to D7 when ALE control signal is equal to 0, and when ALE control signal is equal to 1, AD0 to AD7 work as lower byte address bus A0 to A7. So this control signal decide these 8 pin either as a data bus or as a address bus. So these are the 4 different ports: port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. Each port is a 8-bit capacity, so all are 8-bit capacity. Let us discuss the clocks. The pin number 18 and 19 work as a crystal pins, or deciding the speed of microcontroller when we connect external crystal here, that is XTAL1 and XTAL2. Externally we connect here crystal who is having frequency that decide the speed of 8051 microcontroller. So this is a pin diagram of 8051 showing input output ports and clock circuitries. Input output port and clock blocks in 8051 block diagram. So here there is a input output port blocks where the 4 different ports are attached. That is P0, this one is P2. Combine these two gives us address bus and data bus. So address bus 16-bit, data bus 8-bit. So that is given by port 0 and port 2. Port 1 is also input output port. Port 3 is also input output with multifunctions. So this port gives us higher order address bus, and this gives us the various control signals for interrupt, serial communication and timers. So these are the port input output port and their functions. In this block, whatever the crystal we connect, that gives the clock for central processing unit, and that decide the speed of microcontroller. So connecting external capacitor and crystal, so that decide the speed. Now this is a block diagram. Now let us discuss the each port in details. Input output port, IO port. In 8051 microcontroller has 4 important ports: port 0, 1, port 2 and port 3. So these are the port in 8051 microcontroller. Each port has 8 pins, and thus the 4 ports jointly includes 32 pins. So total there are 40 pins, and 32 pin is reserved for input output port. All ports are bidirectional ports. The port configure the ports as an input or as output. For input port, 1 must be written to that particular ports. To configure it as output port, 0 must be written to the port. All the ports are configured as input port when we reset the microcontroller. Let us discuss port 0 as we explain in pin diagram. The pins are 32 to 39 for port 0, P00 to P07. Having the hex address to address this port 80H. Port 0 is 8-bit bidirectional input output port. Pin can be used as input or output port. It does not have any internal pull-up register. So externally pull-up register is needed when the port 0 is defined as output port. To configure the port as a input port 1 must be written to that port. To configure it as a output port, 0 must be written to it. Function of port 0: to use to be used as a simple input output port. During the external memory access, it functions as multiple data for low order address bus AD0 to AD7. When ALE signal is equal to 0, then AD0 to AD7 work as D0 to D7 data bus. ALE is equal to 1, AD0 to AD7 work as A0 to A7 lower byte address bus. When 8051 wants to access the external memory, the address for memory generated due to port 0 and port 2. Now how it is like this: 16-bit address port 0 provides the address A0 to A7, and port 2 provides address A8 to A15. Also port 0 provides a data bus D0 to D7. When P0 is used for simple data input output, we must connect to external 10 kilo ohm register as a pull-up register. With external pull-up register connected upon reset, port 0 is configured as an output port. So this is the output port. Port 0 pull-up register block diagram is like this. So all these are the 10 kilo ohm resistors connected to each bits of port 1, port 0. Port 00 this resistor, port 01 this resistor, like this, and this gives us 8-bit port, that is port 0. To make the port 0 as an input port, we must program by writing 1 to all the bits. Now how it is? By using this instruction. The assembly language program we write like this: label field, mnemonics and comments. So MOV A comma hash 55H. So immediately FFH data move in accumulator register. So FFA accumulator having all ones, that is 8 ones, 41F, another 41F. So FFH. Move P0A. So this all ones move in port 0. So port 0 all bits are now 1 1, all ones. So port 0 data will be moved. So now port 0 will be work as an input port. So port 0 data, whatever the 1 1 is here, so that will be moving accumulator. And therefore using this instruction we can input the data of port 0 in accumulator CPU of 8051. So these things will be continued. Read the data from port and move in accumulator. So this is the move instruction as the input. How to make the output port 0 as output port? For that, so we are having here 55, that is move in accumulator. So that 55 value is move in port 0. So this is the move P0 comma A, content of accumulator move in port 0. So there is a call delay and we complement that content, accumulator content. So when this is accumulator content is complemented, that means the content of accumulator 55, now it becomes AEH, and once it is complemented then it jump to again here use call delay. So continuously toggling of the accumulator contents. So read the content from read the content of accumulator, that means your output accumulator will be work as a output. Content of accumulator moving port B. So port B, port 0's content get changed. So this is the instruction work as output port. How to keep port 0 as output? By using this content of accumulator move in port 0. Port 1, the bits reserved for it P0, P10 to P17, that is pin 1 to 7. Hex address to access the port 1, that is 90H. Port 1 is a 8-bit bidirectional input output port. It is a bit or byte addressable. When logic 1 is written into port latch, then it works as input port mode. If it function as simply input output and it does not have any alternative functions, this port 1 is only work as an input output port. This port does not need any pull-up register since it is already have a pull-up register internally. So there is no need of external pull-up register. Only port 0 needs the pull-up register. How to make port 1 as an input port? So for that, writing port 1 must be programmed by writing 1 to all bits. So here we write the content of accumulator FF as all 1 and that move in port 1. So this will be work as the all 1 port P1 as a input port. So that data will be moved in accumulator. So this instruction work as port 1 as a input port. Okay, so this is the instruction. To make the port 0 as output port, so move A, 55, content of accumulator now move in port 1, 55 is move in port 1, and therefore this instruction work as a output port to keep port 1 as a output port. Okay, and then this is the just complement of accumulator, the toggling of accumulator from FF 55H to AH. So each bit of this accumulator get complemented. Port 2 P2 0 to P2 7, pin number 21 to 28. The hex address for access this port is 10H. Port 2 is a bidirectional input output port. It is bit or byte accessible. It can be used as an input port or output port. During the external memory access, it functions as higher order address bus A8 to A15. So this is a multifunction port. When port 2 must be used along with port 0 to provide the 16-bit address for external memory. Port 0 is designated as A8 to A15, indicating its dual function, that is a higher byte of address bus. This port does not need any pull-up register since it is already has pull-up register internally. So this port also not needs external pull-up register. To make port 2 as an input port, all the bits program by writing 1 to the bits. So here again we use this table for how we make port 2 as an input port. So first accumulator content will be FF, that data will be moved in port 2 and that port 2's data read by using this instruction. So this instruction work as the port 2 work as an input port. So content of P2 move in accumulator, that is CPU register of 8051 microcontroller. To make the port 2 as output port, so these instructions are used. So here the content of accumulator is 55H and that will be moved in port 2. Port 2 now work as an output port. So again call delay is there and complement accumulator. So 55 goes when complemented, that gives us AH. 55 means 1011010, that is complemented, then 10101010, like this data comes A and 55. Port 3 having P3 0 to P3 7 and pin reserved for it, that is 10 to 17. hex address is B0 for access this port. Port 3 is 8-bit bidirectional port, and it is also bit addressable or byte addressable. Pin can be used as an input output port. Port 3 has additional function of providing the signals. So the two pins are serial communication, TXD and RXD. 2 pins for external input, INT0 and INT1. 2 pins, this is timer and counter T0 and T1. And for external memory access, 8051 needs the strobe, that is our complement WR, means this is logic level 0 WR, and logic level 1 it activate RD bar. Port 3 does not need any pull-up register since it is already has internally pull-up register. So there is no need of external pull-up register. Now how the alternate function of these ports? So we already discussed this in pin diagram. Pin P30 and P31 for serial input, RXD and TXD. P32 and P33 for external interrupt, INT0, INT1. P34 and P35, that is timer 0 external input T0, timer 1 external input T1. P36 and P37 are read and write and read. External data memory write strobe, external memory data read strobe. How to keep port 0 as an input and how to keep port 0 as an output? Again we use this instruction to keep the output port 3 as our input port, and this instruction we use as an output port. For input port, move content of accumulator in port 3, and port 3's data will be moved in accumulator. So this instruction is the input instruction and this instruction is the output instruction. Content of accumulator move in port 3. So port 3 work as an output port. Content of port 3 move in accumulator, this will be work as input port. Now what are the different clock, that is oscillator circuit for 8051 microcontroller? 8051 use the crystal for precise that synchronize its operations effectively. The 8051 operates using what are the machine cycles. A single machine cycle is minimum amount of time in which the single 8051 instruction can be executed, although many instruction takes multiple cycles. The 8051 has on-chip oscillator. It needs external crystal that decide the operating frequency of 8051. It can be achieved by in two ways. Crystal is connected to pin number 18 and 19 with stabilizing capacitors. When we use 12 MHz crystal or 11.05 MHz crystal is often used to with capacitance range 20 picofarad to 40 pf. So that decide the clock. That system clock will be like this. How it is generated? An 8051 clock circuit is shown here. In this case, the quartz crystal, so this is a quartz crystal, is used to make the clock circuitry. The connection is shown. Note the connections to XTL1 and XTL2. So this is the pins of that 18 and 19. The standard practice is to use 12 MHz frequency crystal, and for serial communication 11.05 9 MHz crystal frequency. So how the clock is generated? So this is the TTL clock generated like this square wave when we connect one terminal of that to ground. Okay, so this is the crystal clock, and this clock we use for finding the instruction cycle, machine cycle, T state like this. So here, what is instruction cycle, what is machine cycle, and what is T state? Now we'll first explain the T state. Now here, the one on time and one off time, that gives us a T state, time required to complete one cycle, that is 360 rotation. So that will be the T state. This T state, one T state will be one period. So these are the periods like this: one time, on time, off time. This is off and this is on. This is a period, and that is one T state. Another off on, another P2, that is period, another T state, and like this. So to define the machine cycle, so how we find the machine cycle? If we are having a T state 2 to 12, that gives us one machine cycle. Okay. Another, when we are having a machine cycle 1 to 4, that gives us the instruction cycle. So instruction cycle is constructed like this: T state, machine cycle, and then this machine cycle we use for instruction execution. So for this, we are having here the machine cycle, which is having a state 1, state 2, state 3, state 4, 5, 6 states, or a period or T state is 12. So 12 T state is one machine cycle. So this is 12 clock makes one machine cycle. In this T state is a clock, and 12 T state gives us one machine cycle. So we define T state like this. It is defined as one subdivision of operations performed in one cycle, one clock period. So this is a T state here: on time, off time, and on time. That is one T state. So when we are having 2 to 12 T state, then that is a machine cycle. The machine cycle is defined as 12 oscillator period, that is T state. One machine cycle consists of 6 states. So this is one machine cycle, 6 states. One state having 2 periods, 2 T state. Each state lasts for 2 oscillating clock periods. So this is a one state having 2 periods or 2 oscillating frequency periods. So how we define the instruction cycle using machine cycle? The time required for completing the execution of instruction. The instruction cycle is known as, in instruction cycle, known as fetch, decode, and execute. It has main 3 stage: fetch stage, then decode stage, execution stage, and therefore this instruction opcode fetch, input output, read memory, input output memory read, or input output read write, input out memory read write. So these operations executed in one instruction, and this instruction cycle constructed with machine cycles. So this is about the machine cycle. Now how to find the clock? If 8051 microcontroller is operated in 12 MHz oscillator frequency, find the execution period for following instruction. So instruction is add a 45H, and another is sub b a comma immediate data 55H, and multiplication of ab. So these 3 instructions, what is the time for their execution? So that can be find using this crystal frequency 12 megahertz. So this megahertz frequency is 12 into 10 raised to 6. This frequency is nothing but 1 upon t, because frequency f always given by one reciprocal of period. So this period will be 1 upon the frequency. 12 megahertz means 12 into 10 raised to 6. One machine cycle, as we know, needs 12 periods. So this 12 into t means this is a clock period. So that will be 12 multiplied by 1 upon 12 into 10 raised to 6 seconds. So this 12 get cancelled, 1 upon 16. So that is nothing but 1 into 10 raised to minus 6 seconds. So that is a microsecond. So this is the machine cycle time. For finding the period or execution time for add instruction, these things will be common as we explain here. Number of machine cycle required to execute add instruction is 1. So execution time is given by machine cycle multiplied by number of machine cycle required for add a comma 45h. So here this time the machine cycle required is 1 multiplied by, that is machine cycle, that is 1 microsecond. So this multiplication is 1 microsecond. So 1 microsecond is the execution period time for add instruction. Similarly for SUBB a comma 55. So this needs a 2 machine cycle. So that machine cycle multiplied by the machine cycle multiplied by number of machine cycle required for SUBB a comma hash 55h. So that gives us 2 microsecond, that multiplication. So this 2 microsecond is the time required or execution period time for SUBB instruction. Similarly, mul instruction, MUL a comma b. So this instruction needs 4 machine cycle. So 4 machine cycle multiplied by machine clock, that is 1 microsecond, and that gives us 4 microsecond. So in this way we can find the execution time for various instruction. So in this video lecture we discuss the port and clock, how the different ports used in 8051 microcontroller. I hope you make clear all the points related with input output port and clock circuitry. Thank you very much. If you have any question, contact on my mail ID sampademse57@gmail.com. My WhatsApp number is 9860 389 302. Thank you.